guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. Today we're gonna switch it up a little bit. It's been ages since I worked on a chainsaw before. I've done reviews on electric ones and this and that. It's been a while since I actually have a gas chainsaw to work on. So I got this from Motherload 39 from my friend Mike. You know, the kid that mows veteran lawns for free. I'm in a West Baptist. Not that chainsaw.
Same exact one?
Yeah. And listen, it's funny because has a right aerator machine too. $1,000, $6,000. I tried out. Four. Wow. He just said, "Hey, I gave you."
Nah.
Steel. People say steel. The call, and sure enough, this stuff tomorrow. Now we're gonna. Huh? Mowers from Craftsman. This one, stage snowblower, a Snow King engine. This is the third mower. Gas tank. Burn a chainsaw. Not engaged, all the works too. Really nice kid. He's been giving me stuff for the past 5-6 years. I mean, I've known him for a long time. Nice guy. So this is a HUSQVARNA 435 X-TORQ. Pretty good looking chainsaw, right? Kind of modern too, not super old because it has this type of cover latch over here. I've actually never had this one before, and it'd be kind of interesting. It looks just like a Craftsman, doesn't it? Anyhow, he said that it works, I believe, and also the only thing that's wrong with it is the brake. I mean, honestly, I never used the brake, so it's not a big deal. If I could try to fix it, sure, I'll try to fix it without having to buy the piece, because actually he said that the brake broke, and so what he did was he bought a brand new one, put this one in the box and returned it. And so he had one, the new one with the good brake. But then shortly after using it for a little bit, the same issue happened and the brake broke again. I mean, look, I always just engage it, you know what I mean? Start it up and use it, whatever. But I will take it apart and see exactly what the weak point is of why this brake breaks. So we'll start off by just checking the oil and the bar and chain lube. So look, the gas cap is actually one of these lift the tab up and twist ones. And I've never had one like this, so I know that this is probably the newest chainsaw I've ever had. And of course it's bone dry. You guys saw from another video that I did earlier. I don't know if I, did a lot of content on that, but I actually got like 20 gallons of free for free 2-stroke mix from a person around the neighborhood who was giving it away. He was converting his fishing boat from 2-stroke engine to a 4-stroke engine. So he had drained all his gas from his boat and he was just giving it away. It's mix. And I tried it with my Red Max leaf blower, the backpack one. It's good to mix oil gas, so I've got plenty of that to use. I'll probably use it for like 3 years. I don't really use 2-stroke all that much. Here's the same kind of for the bar chain lube oil. Although with this handle here, it's really hard to turn. Hard to get a good grip. This bar and chain lube always leaks out, and there's a good amount in there. I'm surprised. I did a video recently complaining about the fact that every chainsaw that I've ever had always leaks bar and chain lube out of here. This one seems to be dry. Could this be the first chainsaw I've ever had that doesn't leak bar and chain lube out? Anyway, we'll put some 2-stroke gas in here. I filled up this old container of the mix that he gave me. It's not True Fuel. It's from what the guy gave me. And it's good. Wow, this is a pretty big gas tank for a chainsaw. I just filled it up. I don't care. I've got 20 gallons of this stuff, so I'm good to go for this for a while. And it's good mix. When I used my Red Max leaf blower, it didn't smoke or anything like that. All right, so let me just prime it. Just want to kind of figure out how this stuff works here. You got this lever here. It says up is choke. It didn't even let me do it though. Like it's jammed. Oh, is it pull? Pull and up? Oh, there you go. Pull out and then up for choke. Then when you press this, the trigger, it goes to run again. So we'll prime it. Usually it says here 6 times. I mean, I usually prime it a lot more than that. Let's see if you prime it. Fuel goes in, sucks it. So far, nothing. All right, looks like I'm getting something here. Yep, the bulb is filling up, and I feel like it is drawing the fuel out of the gas tank, and when you push in, it goes through the return line back into the gas tank again. So feels okay. Feels like it's kind of bubbly though. You know how you press it, feels kind of not spongy, but with little tiny bubbles going through too. You know, not like a solid draw. So I'm sure there's some bubbles in air and stuff. Here is your area for your low and high air fuel mixture, and the chain is pretty tight. And of course we know the brake doesn't work. I wonder if it's on or off, I'm not sure. We'll just give her a couple pulls and see what happens. It's on choke, and I'm not going to throttle or anything. Ooh, I heard something like it turned over. You ready? All right, so when it does that, now you can trigger and get it to run. So the brake appears to be on because the chain won't move. So the stop, you just push this down. Stop, down. So this red little lever here is the choke, pull out, go up. When you trigger, it goes to run automatically. Then to shut it off, you put it down. So this lever does 3 things. So if that broke, you're in a world of hurt. So as you can see, this chainsaw runs great. Idles fine. It's just that when you try to throttle and get the chain to move, something's preventing it from turning. So it could be, the chain could be too tight, or the issue with this chainsaw is the brake handle. Pull back to reset. So it appears that it makes the noise, like this appears to be, you know, braked, and then to use the chain for it to turn, to use the chainsaw to work, you pull it back, and it seems like it does that. So for the chain not to move, it's weird. So we're gonna take this cover apart right here, It's just this 1/2 inch bolt. Take this off and see why the chain doesn't move. So usually these chainsaws come with a case, and it has like the socket thing along with a Phillips screwdriver. Obviously I don't have that. I have it somewhere, but I don't have it. And this is barely on there. I barely needed to turn it. I'm surprised that the chain is not super loose. Here's the clutch. You know, let's remove the chain and the bar, because I want to see if the crankshaft turns. I mean, I guess it does, because we did see it kind of try to move. But it looks like the chain is actually stuck. Let's remove the chain. You don't want to mix this up, because if you have it the other direction, the sharpness of it is going the wrong direction. As a matter of fact, this kind of feels like that. You know, you run your fingers through it, and if it catches your finger like sharply, then this chainsaw is, this chain is probably on the wrong end. No, actually, if you go the other direction, I can never figure it out actually. But I think it's backwards, because it's not as, it's smooth going this way, and it kind of catches going this way. So I think it's supposed to be like this. Yeah, I think so. All right, now I'll fire this up again and see if this spins like it should. So the outer sits there like that. The clutch is moving on the inside. When you power up, now as you can see here, that's where the bar and chain lube comes out of to lubricate the chain. But this outer piece here, look, you can put your hand there. It floats. That just floats. But when you engage the clutch by going faster RPMs, the whole thing spins. That's nice. That's really cool. I've never seen a clutch system like that. See? This outer floating disc, I guess, is attached to the clutch, right? When the engine is on, clutch is spinning along with the crankshaft at that speed. Kind of like a drum brake, you know what I mean? And then when the centrifugal force of the rotation of the inner clutch, it expands, you know, outwards and grips this drum rotor, right? And then that's what spins the chain. So I don't really see anything wrong with it. Now the brake, what prevents it from spinning? You know what I mean? And this doesn't appear to be broken. It looks okay. I don't see any obvious reasons why it stops it, and I really can't tell how it stops it too. See how that works? You pull it back, it doesn't click anymore. It only clicks when I had the cover on. But this lever doesn't appear to be broken. So I'm kind of confused as to why the chain didn't spin. You know what I mean? I don't see anything preventing it from doing that. So I'm just gonna put this back on. Alright, so I've been playing with this a little bit off camera. So if I have it relatively loose like that, look, my hands can freely turn the thing. There's a little bit of resistance, I guess, from the crankshaft because it's always moving, right? In this situation, the crankshaft is attached to the clutch and it's always moving. So I feel a little resistance, kind of like the compression stroke, if you will. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that, to be honest with you. Anyway, I figured out how the mechanism works. So this lever has like a tri-star kind of a mold. And this tri-star mold coincides with this fan-looking tri-star thing. See? So when you pull this back, it acts like a gear and turns this. Obviously, it's under a lot of pressure because I can't turn it with my bare hands, right? This thing. So it just like goes a quarter turn like that. And when it turns like that, it pulls this like oil filter wrench looking metal strap, if you will, grips the clutch and prevents it from turning. So that's how it works. But this doesn't look broken though, so it should work. You know what I mean? Now if I put this over it, the clutch, if it was engaged in a brake, as a brake, you shouldn't be able to turn this. So I don't understand why when we were powering it up before, the chain didn't move. So maybe the chain was too tight. So I'm just gonna put this bolt back. I'm gonna start it up again and see if it turns. There's a little notch here where you can put a slotted screwdriver in there and tighten the chain respectively. All right, so look, I can turn the chain with my hands, and it's a little loose, but it's okay. But I feel some resistance though. I'll start her up, see if it spins. So it spins, but see how the chain is loose now? And I think the resistance, believe it or not, has to do with that metal round strap, the brake. And it had a lot of dried oil on it. I wonder if that's what's preventing the chain from spinning really easily. And also if you tighten this too much, it may not spin. Look at this. This is very dirty. Maybe if you know what I'm gonna do? I wanna just take this out. Take this brake completely out. Then you won't have a brake problem. You know what I mean? If this is the one that's causing a lot of problems, or there could be a lot of stuff caked into the side which doesn't allow it to expand. Following what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff in there which may block the expansion of the strap. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, you guys can see that? Look, made in Sweden. So there's like crap in here, and this ring is supposed to expand, right? When you take it off the brake, and then when you put it on the brake, this tightens. and it grips that clutch, see, and that's what stops it from turning. So what if, because look, if you look at the inner part of this, it's really greasy and grimy, but it's not terrible. But I will try to clean this stuff out, so maybe it'll be able to expand more, because the stuff in there is preventing it from totally expanding. I mean, maybe that's it. I'm gonna get some pliers and try to turn that and see how this works. So looking at it, I inadvertently turned this, and this part here went upwards like that. Because I did that, look at it now. This coil or strap has now compressed into the locked position. See how much smaller the circle is? There's no way I can get this back on that clutch again, because this circumference diameter of this now is smaller than the clutch diameter. And I can't for the life of me turn this. The tension in there is so strong that I can't even grip this TriStar thing and turn it down to loosen this. So that was the issue, is that it takes so much torque and tension to turn this, that cheap plastic lever, the brake lever, is not strong enough to turn this thing, to unlock it. And that was the issue, is because it takes so much tension. With pliers, I can't even turn it. I can't even budge it. So the spring tension on here is really, really strong. So you know what I'm gonna do? The hell with it, man. I never used a brake anyway. I'm gonna take this assembly out, or like they say in Canada, and remove this ring, the brake altogether. Just gonna remove it. Then we shouldn't have any problems with the chain moving or the lever. I'm gonna do it for you right here on camera. Watch something just spring into my face. Just 2 screws. Just a slotted thing over here. I think that is another screw. Oh, there's another one here. Jesus. Well, I'm not surprised, because the tension is so high. So this whole thing should just come out. This comes out like that. Look, see? Look at the size of the spring, man. That is super heavy duty, man. What if I just remove the spring? I could still have the lever move, right? If I remove the spring, this would still work, sort of. Better than taking the whole thing out. Unless the whole thing actually impedes the chain from moving. Maybe I should just remove the whole assembly. You know what? I'm gonna remove the whole assembly. It's a working chainsaw. I don't want any problems. Here we go. Watch your eyes. Well, you guys are safe. You guys are watching it. Should I just keep the spring in there, or just remove the spring too? I'm gonna remove that whole damn assembly because it's heavy. Weight reduction. Bing! All right, spring flew out, so this shouldn't be under any tension. But I kind of want to remove this too. I don't really want this. Don't need it. I'm going to remove this properly because I think there's something here that keeps it from, yeah, there's a C-clip. There we go. Yeah, here we go. This assembly is out. I'm gonna clean this up, put it back together, see if it works. This is how the how the chain tightener works. This stud goes into this hole, and when you turn this slotted screw, turns the threads and moves this stud either up or down or left to right. If you did it this way, turning it, it would pull down, stretching the bar and the chain to tighten it. So I'm gonna just clean this up a little. All right, I put everything back, sans the brake, cleaned it up a little bit. Needs a little adjustment on the high-low fuel mixture because it kind of hesitates at high throttle. So when you throttled really high, it hesitated to get up high. It needs to be smooth with no fuel restrictions. So I looked really carefully at the screw, the two high and low adjustments, and it didn't look like anything. So I figured it was just so small and deep down there that I couldn't see, but it was the spline one. So with this HIPA tools set, right? This is just made just for your two-stroke carburetor high-low air fuel mixture adjustment tools. I've used this so many times, guys, and this is so cheap from HIPA. You guys can check it out, okay, over at HIPA. Use code Henry for 5% off. Anyway, I also adjusted the idle too. After adjusting only the high, because the low was fine, right? It now throttles responsively as well as at high, super high throttle. And then when you let go really quick, it stalled. See, so I did a quarter turn on the idle screw just so that it continues to idle while. So I'll show you. It works great now. And yes, bar and chain lube came out. Never fails, it always comes out. Every time you go like this, you see a spray of bar and chain lube going in a line like that. You know, that's just normal, you know what I mean? So never have I had a non-messy chainsaw. They all leak, every one of them. I've never had one or ever heard of anybody having one that didn't leak. A chainsaw is messy. It is stronger than an electric one, but they make electric ones that are very strong too. So I'm not going to keep this because I have my own 20-inch Remington Outlaw, brand new. Had stored there for many years, and then 3 years later I decided to take it out. I had gas, full of gas in it, fired right up on the first pull. So I said, I don't need to drain it. It works after 3 years of storing it with gas. I'm just gonna put it back on the shelf again until I need it someday. When are you gonna need it? You only need it if you get into a hurricane or something like that. We haven't had a hurricane here since Sandy and Irene, which was many years ago. But I have one in case a hurricane does come and a tree falls down and I gotta cut it, whatever. But this one I'm gonna sell. Pretty good. HUSQVARNA 435 X-TORQ. We removed the brake mechanism on it because it was just causing a lot of problems, you know. So now it has no brake, but it works just fine. Just be careful, that's all. So I'll probably list this for sale for $150. Take as low as $100. Yeah, I'll do that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe so I can continue to bring you small engine content like this one. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. I bypassed the safety switches.
Mr. Kamsa here, and we'll see you next time on Mowers and Blowers.